What's up, folks? Johnny Lee Reinoso here, JLR with Reinoso Global Consulting and My Living Media. Thank you again for tuning in. Last week, we spoke about sales. Speak authoritatively, listen empathetically. The 4 words, really, but the 4-letter acronym that allows you to understand how do you win in the art of sales? How do you transfer, right? Transfer that emotion of certainty so your buyer says, I'm interested, I want to learn more, I want to do something here. The magic behind Speak Authoritatively, which if you tuned in last week, if you haven't, you got to check that other video out. I talk about how I transformed an organization from $10 million to $128 million in revenue. The secret formula allows you to get into that emotional state to know how to share that value with your prospect. Now, remember one thing, what you're transferring is the art of certainty, right? And you do that through tonality. There are many different ways and different trainings that I provide that allow you to really get into that state and into that art. But the key thing is, what's that one emotion you're giving that person besides certainty? Where are you getting them? What's their mindset? Trust. Is getting your prospect to understand that you are a force to be reckoned with, that you are the difference to help them to get to where they want to get to. Whether it's professional services, regardless what you're selling, you need your prospect to trust you. And people say to me, but how do I get them to trust? So I had to think, and I worked with some of my mentors, and I said, well, what's the formula for success when it comes to trust? And I'm going to share that with you here today. Watch this. Intimacy, I, times credibility, intimacy times credibility, minus risk equals trust. Let me break that down. What is intimacy? Intimacy is connection. Intimacy is being able to have great rapport with your prospect. Intimacy is being able to have relatability. So what you're sharing with them is allowing them to understand, oh, I understand this. I get this. I see where this person's coming from. Intimacy is not, how do I convince you? How do I force you to understand? How do I prove you wrong? That's not intimacy. Intimacy is being able to relate with your customer, is being able to speak with a level of empathy. Right? Remember, speak authoritatively, listen empathetically. When you listen empathetically, you know where your prospect's coming from. When you start asking those critical questions to build that necessary rapport, guess what happens? You start to create that intimacy. Now, what do I mean by credibility? The stories you tell. Who have you worked with before in their industry? What have you done? What problems have you solved in their industry? So that they too can understand, they can see, I see the story you're telling me. Okay, I went through that problem as well. Oh, I understand what it is that you're sharing with me. I get it. You're not forcing them to understand. They're inviting themselves through your storytelling. So think about it again. Intimacy times credibility minus risk. What is risk? Risk is if I say yes, what could happen if this doesn't go right? If I say yes and something is just not the right way, if something goes wrong, what am I going to lose, right? So if the investment that you're asking for is a lot, let's say, you have to triple down here and here. The more intimacy you build, the more questions you ask, the more relatability, the more you're able to connect with that person, the more they're able to say yes to you and the storytelling is working, the more credibility you build by sharing case studies, by sharing story of your, customer stories. I always say verse of the customer story, a voice of the customer survey says, right? Well, when I spoke to my colleague the other day, he was sharing with me that one of our clients actually had mentioned because of this and this and this, they've been able to experience X, Y, Z and grow their business. Whatever it is, allowing them to see themselves in that storyline helps you win. Intimacy times credibility minus risk. Now, Johnny, but what if I get objections? What if I get an objection that says, something along the lines of, I don't know if it makes sense right now because we're already working with another organization. I don't know if we should make this invest. I don't know if I want to do this now. Or you know what? We're already doing this, or we're already going to self-medicate. I call it self-medicate when a company says that they want to do things themselves. We're already going to hire somebody else, or we're going to wait 6 months. Whatever they give you as an objection, I'm not asking you to use the other R word, rebuttal, because that comes with a negative connotation. Rebuttal comes with this ability to want to prove your prospect wrong, this ability to want to, share and show and walk them down the path that you're right and they're wrong. That's not what I'm asking you to do. What I'm asking you to do when you get an objection is I'm asking you to take them through the art of R.E.A.C.T, another acronym for you. R.E.A.C.T stands for repeat, empathize, ask, close, and be thankful. What do I mean by that? I'm going to share it with you. When somebody gives you an objection and you're listening to them, rather than listen to reply and you're standing there like this, you're ready to say, yeah, but, well, I understand what you said, but that's not overcoming. Here's the way it works. Gosh, Mike, absolutely. So you've been working with another organization for how long? Oh, wow, that's fantastic. Oh, wow, I didn't know. Oh, that's great. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that you've actually have investing in this and that or the other, whatever it is. Notice there's a complete understanding and a satisfaction of, I understand you. I agree with you. I'm happy that you're doing this. You're starting to disarm. They're not used to that. Imagine getting into an argument with your spouse and she says, you didn't take the garbage out. And you say, oh, you're right. I'm so sorry. Oh, uh-oh. What is she going to say? My wife would be like, what's wrong with him? Okay, cool. But I actually practice the art of R.E.A.C.T all the time at home, which is true. You know what? You're right. I'm sorry. I forgot. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. She can't continue the argument with me if she wants to because she's frustrated. It might be, well, please don't forget it, or I'm tired of you forgetting it. You know what? You're right. I shouldn't forget it. I'm disarming her from the argument. You're already working with another organization? That's fantastic. How long have you been working with them for? That's great. So tell me a little bit about what you enjoy when you work with them. And you have this back and forth conversation and you're slowly watching this shield get lowered and lowered and lowered. And now you're having a dialogue with your prospect. That's the magic of R.E.A.C.T. You're repeating what they're doing with confidence, and then you're empathizing with your tonality. Oh, that's great. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's awesome. How long have you been working with them for? Oh, that's this. And you continue to go and what? Ask more questions. You're guiding them down the path that you desire. So how long have you been advertising with that organization for? Oh, that's great. Tell me a little bit about your ROI. Tell me a little bit about your return on the investment there. Oh, that's wonderful. Huh. So when it comes to what your ultimate goal is for this year going into Q3 and Q4, now that we're in Q2, are we on track or off track when it comes to your dollars and cents and your top line versus your investment? Do you mind if I ask you a question? You see those questions? You're welcoming them. Can we unpack? It's taking them through this beautiful road to success. And when they start to answer your questions and you start to see that they're lowering their shoulders, they're talking to you much more calmly and peacefully, now you know you have them in a state of vulnerability. And that's when you start asking closing questions. Well, let me ask you, Mike, if we were to look at this and this and this, and we were to address the top line goals that you have to help you get to the next level, what would happen to your business if we were to actually get you that other 30, 40,000 a month that you're looking to achieve? What challenges would it give you? Well, I'd have to hire more. Okay, how does that look in terms of hiring? Do you currently have a recruiting system in place? We do. Okay, so the sustainability of that growth is there, correct? It sure is. Do you have the capacity? I think you mentioned capacity, right? We do. Perfect. Now you know you're getting them there. Now you want to get them right to the close. Fantastic, Mike. Let's do this then. I want to put in front of you a plan that I know will help you achieve X, Y, Z and X, Y, Z, and then you do it in a thankful manner filled with gratitude. Again, when you are faced with an objection, just know they're walking you into the path to have this 4-letter acronym, which is repeat, empathize, ask, close, and thankful. And this is the journey to build the trust. That's why I say all the time, when somebody doesn't buy from you all the way, it's because they're not trusting you. And that's because you didn't build enough intimacy and credibility minus the risk factor. So focus on that. Again, 3 words, I times C minus R equals trust. Remember that. Intimacy times credibility minus risk equals trust. And in that journey, when you're faced with objections, please focus on this. Repeat, empathize, ask, close, and be thankful. Speak authoritatively, listen empathetically, and R.E.A.C.T will take your business to the next level. Folks, thank you again for spending time with me. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, share this with others, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.